Welcome back to a little bit more of a somber edition of the Kilted Texan. Today I'm headed to St. Louis. Unfortunately, I am having to go for a funeral, but I am going to be using the Cadillac Lyriq, so this will actually be my first real road trip in the Lyriq. Today I'm going to be testing whether or not the Pilot and the Flying J GM chargers actually work as advertised, and whether or not the 2-year plan, because I have the 2-year charging plan for free with GM, so we're going to see if that actually works at the Pilot stations and the Flying J. So if you think it's been a while since that I've had this car, you're right, it's been almost a year. We're coming up on a year here pretty quick, and if you think I'm procrastinating now, just you wait. But we'll test it out, see how the charging goes, what kind of speeds we get, and whether or not it's worth it. Right now my first stop is 264 miles away, and that is actually a regular EVgo station, not a Pilot or Flying J. The second one is a Pilot or Flying J, I can't remember which, but we'll be alternating between the two, and they're GM Ultium charging stations. So we'll see how things work out, and we'll get back to you as soon as we stop for our first charge. Again, 264 miles. Right now the guessometer's showing about 360 miles of charge. I did go ahead and run it to 100% here about an hour ago, so we are pressing on with a great exuberance, and we'll see you in the next charging stop.
So the actual chargers were located behind this little bank right here. Rolling them, found them. They weren't easy to see, but yeah, they're right on the back side, as we'll see here in just a sec. So voila, here are the chargers, and unfortunately the first one on the right that's empty was non-functional, so I had to wait for that little white bolt that you see up there.
Well, I rolled up here to Plano, and looks like we're charging at 126 at the moment. So not blowing anybody's socks off, but we're charging up just the same. And then we'll get inside and we'll take a look at all this data and see what's going on. Well, unfortunately, this is so sad it'd make an onion cry, but basically I lost all my data because I road tripped this car before, so I wasn't exactly sure how to do it, but at least I'll give you some numbers that it might make some sense. I did stop at Buc-ee's in Temple, and that was at 118 miles, and I was doing 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. When I got back in, of course it resets, so this Lyriq is a little bit different. I'll be setting one of my trip odometers now, but and then we pulled up here, and I think it was at 148 miles or something like that. It was 148 or 147, something like that, and I had done 3.0 miles per kilowatt hour for the last section there. So you figure probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3.2, maybe 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Well, 3.2 and a half miles per kilowatt hour or so. Right now, when I pulled up here to the EVgo, there was a gentleman, we were doing that left side, right side sharing. So max it only saw was 129 kilowatt, but we're about ready to shut it down and head on up into Oklahoma. We got another Flying J EVgo station we're going to hit when we get into Oklahoma, and I'm just going to make sure I got enough juice to make it, and we'll press on. And this time I'm going to actually set my trip odometer so that I actually capture the data, because I like my data. All right, we'll catch you on the next one.
Flying J over there?
Pilot.
over there? It's Flying J.
Oh. I thought I saw pilot. There they are. Here, a few miles north of McAllister, and we're at a Pilot Flying J, and as you can see, there is no cost associated with it right now, and we're pushing 183 kilowatts starting at 16%. So I'd say we're doing pretty good. Let's get inside and we'll take a look at these numbers, but I'm pretty pleased with that. Well, this is our trip odometer since the stop in Plano, Texas. We're 193.2 miles north, and there was a lot of uphill. There was a lot of elevation changes, and we were rolling out pretty smartly, so did 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour. And just so that you know where we are, it's this spot right here in I hope I don't butcher the name, Checotah, Oklahoma. So this is a Flying J, and again, I have the 2-year free charging, and looks like it is charging freely, and we are still pulling down 184 kilowatt. So I'm still pretty pleased, and we'll hang here until we get enough juice to make it on up the road a little bit further. And I believe the next one is also it's either one of the Pilot or the Flying J stations, but I'll have to verify that. So even at 33%, we're still pushing 154 kilowatt. So yeah, we're doing pretty good, and that's the percentage. But yeah, we're moving right along. These GM chargers are not too bad, not too shabby, especially when you're the only one here. So just for reference, took 34 minutes, got 73 kilowatt hours of juice, and ended up at 67 kilowatt charging. So we are good. Hey Google, can you tell me an interesting fact about platypi?
Sure. According to Wikipedia, the platypus, sometimes referred to as the duck-billed platypus, is a semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal endemic to eastern Australia, including Tasmania.
Egg-laying mammal of action. When things get rough, he never runs from a fray. He's got more than just mad skills. He's got a beaver's tail and a bill. And the women swoon whenever they hear him say, he is Perry, Perry the platypus.
Totally do acapella together.
Word. This is a blessing for you, and you too, and you, and you. Oh, shoot! Oh, you and you. You be blessed too. You be. Oh no. Oh,
Oh hell no.
Oh no, honey.
I like that.
All right, we pulled in here into Springfield, Missouri, into the Flying J at 200 miles and 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour, and we climbed a lot. In fact, so much that my ears were popping on some of these deals, but We're here. We rolled in, I think, with 13% on the battery still. We're going to go ahead and plug in here and see what kind of charging speeds we get here in Springfield. All right, so at 14%, we are ramping up 180. It looks like that's where she's sitting, is 180. So we started at 15%, and I guess we'll, oh, there's 182. So she may climb a little bit, but it looks like that's where we're going to be sitting. All right, we have arrived in Sullivan, Missouri. This is a Flying J, and this is the GM Ultium chargers. We went 149.8 miles with an efficiency of 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So not too bad. We arrived here with plenty of juice. Looks like 62 miles on the guessometer remaining. So let's get her juiced up and we'll see what kind of speeds we get. So we're at 20% here. She is ramping up. 182, 183. So we started at 20, yeah, we started at 20%. So there's 184. So right now this is going to be our last stop before making it into St. Louis, and this is the running around in St. Louis charge. So we'll go probably to about 80%. Now there's 185. That helps, but we're gonna let her charge on up.
Okay. Was that the one over?
Whoa, that was a snake.
That the one over?
Sitting here in St. Louis, and I had to charge up because I got a secondary location I'm headed to tomorrow for the second part of the funeral, and charge it up while at 100%, because went and we had some chow. There's a little Mexican food restaurant over here, so car is charged all the way up, and we're going to get in and take a look at the numbers. Okay, so here's what we have to get to St. Louis. Again, notwithstanding a couple of stops, but there's this last one was 205.9 miles, averaging 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour. Total right now for the trip. Now remember, I had 264 miles, so what, 867, I guess. Averaging 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour to climb all these hills up into the foothills of the Ozarks in St. Louis, but not too bad. And now we're headed to Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and for the second funeral where we take her home. So we'll catch you at the next charging stop. But we're at 100% right now, because this is kind of a charging desert out in Poplar Bluff, so we'll see if I can take care of it.
Take the next left.
There they are.
Well, we're here at the Francis Energy at Poplar Bluff, and just topping it up here to started like 50 some odd percent, but here at this Francis Energy, and right now we're pushing 74 kilowatt at 55%, so we're doing all right. I'm gonna top it up so that we can get out of here and make it to the next EV Go station that's down near Little Rock. I think it's 216 miles away or something like that. So this is the only charge so far that I have paid for on this trip. The rest of them have been the EV Goes at the Flying J's and pilot stations, all that good stuff. So that's at least a plus. And I got the funeral this afternoon and then headed back south. So charging experience so far with this Cadillac has been pretty good. Efficiency's hovering pretty close to 3.0, and that's with running AC and running 70. Sometimes it get better, sometimes a little worse, averaging about 3.0. So we'll pick back up with you on our next one. Well, we're here at the Pilot in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it's like our last run, 230.7 miles, 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. Rolled in here with 71 miles left on the guess-o-meter, and we started off at, I think, battery was at 94 or 93%, something like that. So we got pretty decent range out of it, and again, there we are. So we're gonna get out here and check it out, see how fast we get from the speeds on this particular EV Go station. And here we go. Started at 22%. They are ramping up. 96, 104. Looks like we're hanging right around 173, 174. Well, that'll work. So we'll probably only be here about 30 minutes, not too long. And we'll be going to just south of Texarkana right after this. Pretty short charge up, I'd say. We'll see you on that one.
Take the next left toward Camper Lane, then turn left onto Camper Lane.
All right, we're here just north of Texarkana at the Flying J, and we're at the Ultium chargers. Again, the GM Energy chargers here. And looks like we did 114.5 miles at 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour. I was hauling. So we definitely were running, 75 plus maybe. And we've gone ahead and made it here to the Pilot. I've got a lot of juice, but I'm gonna need to kind of top off a little to make the Dallas area from here, and it's a little over 200 and some odd miles, so we need to go ahead and juice up, and we will make it to Dallas, and let's see how fast the Texarkana chargers are. It's a fairly decent place. Looks like it's got a Denny's. And I think Denny's is one of these places, you never go to Denny's, you just kind of end up at Denny's. Well, I think today, maybe I might be ending up at Denny's. But here she is, all dirty. And we're just ramping up here. We're starting at 53%. I way overcharged, but I got busy doing other stuff while I was charging in Little Rock. But 53%, we came up to, well, we bounced to 135 and then down to 116. So I have no problem with that. We'll just let her take her time and top off, and we'll make the Dallas area, and we'll go from there. So we'll see how we do when we get to Dallas.
Take the next left, then turn right.
Well, this is the run from Texarkana to just east of Dallas, and we went 139 miles, averaged 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour, and we were running pretty fast and had a little bit of a headwind, so yeah, that's why the abysmal mile per kilowatt hour. But yeah, we were really cooking down through there, so it didn't take us very long at all to make that run. And next one is actually home, so I'll charge up pretty deep here, and then when we get home, I'll actually run those final numbers here for us. And we had one unscheduled stop just from Greenville to home. We ended up stopping in Lancaster, and this is an Exxon that had the EVgo fast chargers. So we went ahead and stopped here and just topped up. So the last numbers are actually the ones from Lancaster to home. Well, here's the last bit from the Dallas area. We did 233.6 miles, averaged 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and that did all right, I think. That was a pretty decent run. Now remember that we were supposed to add like 246 miles or something like that, but essentially 1,536 miles, averaging 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and this thing road trips pretty well. So in summary, the 2024 Cadillac Lyriq, it's comfortable, charges pretty quick, and goes down the road like a dream, like a cloud basically. So it is a good road trip vehicle. I actually prefer my ID4 basically for the self-driving stuff, but this one is a very close second. Plus it's got the built-in Wi-Fi and the Google stuff that makes it nice. So other than that, if you're gonna crash into that like button and subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time we do something nutty with one of these cars.